welcome to my channel. So today I thought that I would make a video about the things that I hate about France. So for context, I've been living in France for about 9 years now. I moved here when I was 11. I learned the language in about a year. I went to middle school here, high school, and now I'm in college. So the point of me saying that is that I would say I blend pretty well with the locals. Like, I do have a foreign face. Sometimes when I speak French, people are surprised. But I'd say that I spent and spend a good amount of time around locals. So it's not like I just got here a month ago and all my friends are internationals and I don't know what I'm talking about. So this is just to preface. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry if I breathe really heavily during this video. It's just 40 degrees out today. And no AC, because this is Europe. We're gonna start it off with a bang, because this is like the first one that came to mind, because it's one that's like currently annoying me the most. And it's that people here have very low social intelligence. Their social skills are not as developed as those of Americans, let's say. So for example, if you move here, be prepared to say literally everything twice. And at first I thought that it was just happening to me. Like, I would speak to someone face to face, just us, and every time I spoke, they would go, and then have me repeat what I just said. At first I thought like, oh, maybe it's my accent, or maybe this person is just being racist, like they're pretending not to understand me to make themselves feel better. But then I started observing this happening in public a lot, just like two native French speakers talking to each other, and they're like this close from one another. One of them will say something very clearly, very audibly, no mumbling, no nothing, and then the other person will look them in the eye and go, "What?" And then they'll say it again, and then the person will go, "What?" again. Whole time I'm standing like 5 meters away from the interaction, and I could hear clearly what the person said. And personally, I'm just very impatient like that. For me, it's like, if every single time I speak you like don't register immediately what I said, to me the message that you're sending is, oh, what I'm saying to you doesn't matter. Like, you would rather be in your little daydream world, you would rather like disassociate while we're out together hanging out, rather than be present in the moment and like be interested in what I have to say. That to me is just kind of like just blatant disrespect. I don't know, but like everyone does it. Everyone is like half deaf here, and it's really normalized. And so if you ever call it out, like, hey dude, like, can you pay attention to me, like in a group, everyone else will look at you like, whoa, why is she being such a bitch? Whereas, for example, I've been to America and I spent like maybe a week's time each time I went, and like people didn't me once. You know, like the French equivalent of is very similar, but like people didn't me once. Like it sounds stupid, but for real, like in America, people are just like alert of their surroundings. They know what's going on. You can like call a stranger on the street from far away. Oh, hey ma'am, I think you dropped something, and the person will immediately like turn around and be like, oh, thank you so much. In France, it's like everyone is an NPC. They just like don't register being spoken to immediately. Like, it takes them a while. Like, they're very slow like that, and it's just really frustrating when you're just trying to speak to someone. Like, sometimes I will avoid having a conversation with a stranger because I just can't like deal with that kind of attitude. You know, like I'll be like in a grocery store and someone will be like clearly confused about something, they will be looking for something, and like the old me would be like, "Oh, hi, do you need some help? Can I help you? Is something wrong?" But now I just can't be bothered because they're gonna go, what? What do you mean? No, what are you talking about? Huh? French people are just permanently confused. French people just have to hear literally everything. Well, literally. They do not understand illusions at all. You know how like when you're just having a conversation with someone and you assume that they're following what you're talking about, and so sometimes when you speak you leave out certain pieces of information because you think that at this point like they're common sense. If the person has been listening to you this whole time, they know what you mean when you say this, they know what you're talking about when you mention this. And with French people it's not like that. It's like they're kind of like a computer. They have to like be reminded of everything, and it's impossible to speak to them because like every like couple back and forths they'll be like, wait, what are you talking about now? Oh, what is that? Oh, I thought you meant something else that's completely unrelated to what we're talking about right now. They're just in another world. They're always like halfway like present with you, like the other half of their mind is like wandering off somewhere into space, and I just don't like have the patience for that. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't. And because of that, they're also like unable to be silly, you know? Like, for example, in America, if you were to like walk around and like film yourself, like trying to fist bump people, like, I'm sure that in America, like 90% of the people would be like, oh, this person is giving me a random fist bump. Let me give them a fist bump. And it's just like a silly little interaction between strangers. In France, people don't like get that kind of thing. They don't understand like silly little situations, silly little interactions. They would just look at you confused or like tell you to like get the camera out of their face. They're just not like random like that. Continuing with this point, French people don't understand sarcasm and irony at all. They do not understand hypotheticals. They do not understand when someone like plays a character or when someone's doing a bit, like someone pretending to be someone that they're not in order to make a joke. Like, French stand-up is the most unfunny shit I have ever witnessed. Like, I went like 2 or 3 times because the first two I just assumed that like it was a bad night, like they got like bad comics. But no, just like French people are unable to be funny because they don't understand like creating a situation that is not real. You know what I'm saying? They can't like follow, like, oh, I am not me anymore. I am pretending to be this stereotypical character and I am going to this stereotypical place, and this is the punchline. They don't understand, like, what are you doing? Why are you making that? Why are you moving like that? What's this voice that you're doing? What's happening right now? And so it's just, as someone who I don't know, likes to play around with sarcasm and irony and like different like tools for like humor, uh I just can't do it. It's just I can't handle having to explain every single thing I say. It just takes the fun out of like conversation, like French people can't like have banter. You can't like have an inside joke with a French person because, like I said, they just like have the memory of a goldfish. Like, something will happen, something funny, and you think, oh, we have an inside joke now, and then you will mention it the next time you see them, and they're like, what? And it takes them like a couple seconds before they're like, oh, right, this thing happened to me. Okay, next point. French men are absolute pussies. So I don't know where this stereotype came from. But even if like this was true in the past, it is definitely not true anymore. It is very outdated. French men are not romantic. They are the furthest thing from romantic. Uh, French men act like women and they want to be treated like women. So obviously, like living here, I date here, right? But I try to date as many foreigners as I can, because I just like I don't. There's so many things that I dislike about Frenchmen, and so we just don't connect, and it never lasts. But Frenchmen, they want to be chaste. They don't believe in just being masculine. They don't understand that their role is to provide. They don't know how to act like men. Like I dated this French guy one time, and I've been going around like telling this story to like friends, and it seems like they all have had the same experience, like international friends and local friends. It's they would like date a French guy who would like say one thing but mean the other. Like you would ask them what's wrong and they would say nothing. Everything's fine. Just like female mannerisms, female behavior. It's all of that is just very unattractive to me. I have this friend. She's an international, and she really likes French guys, and she really likes this guy who's just a total piece of shit, but whatever. Um, but basically, what he does that I just can't stand is something that all French men do is they pretend that they're not attracted to you as a woman. So you know how like in the pickup community, one of their like main strategies for picking up women is negging. So negging basically means like, oh, bully her a little bit, pretend that you don't like her so that her ego is bruised, and so that when you are actually nice to her, she just like like takes those little crumbs and feeds her starving ego. And so French men do that all the time. That's like their main thing. They will just like slide into your DMs, or they will or they will like cold approach you in real life, and they will just like point out like shit that they don't like about you and like act like it's a joke, and they will just like plainly insult you, just like undermine everything you say. You will start talking about something that you're passionate about, and they will just like completely like cut your wings, like, oh, that's boring, oh, that's shit, oh, like, why do you think that? That's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing something else. Here is some advice from me that you didn't ask for. mm, like French guys just refuse to give compliments. In their head it's like they just like assume that you know that they find you attractive through the way they act, but then it's not like they're physically affectionate either. Like their whole thing is like, oh, I'm too cool to express attraction, I'm too cool to express that I like you, and I just find that like very unattractive. Like if you think I'm so if you think I'm so stupid, so ugly, so boring, so uninteresting, everything I think is wrong, everything you think is better, then why don't you go and talk to someone else and leave me the fuck alone? How about that? So next point, which these all kind of like follow each other. This is kind of like stream of consciousness. In France, gender roles are completely inexistent, and some people who are like really progressive, they might think that that's like a good thing. Like, oh, I don't know, patriarchy, feminism, whatever the fuck. So like here, in the same way that men don't think that they have to be men anymore, like pay on dates, just like be a provider, a protector, just give off that like sexy masculine energy. The same goes for women. They don't think that they have to be women anymore. So for example, like the like the stereotypical French girl, like when you think of her, what do you think? You think like, oh, she's like a brunette, like some light eye makeup, red lipstick. She's very put together, good fashion. She looks good. She's very elegant. That's not true. The average French woman doesn't take care of herself, just straight up. Um, they don't they don't really do their makeup. Sometimes it looks like they don't even brush their hair. They don't care about what they wear. Um, they don't work out. There's no such thing as going to the gym for women here, and for men too. But let's stay on the women for now. Um, just I don't know, like as someone like me who regularly like gets her lashes done, gets her nails done, like right now, like they just fell off and I'm getting new ones next week. But as someone who just like, I don't know, shaves, like, oh, so many French women like let their armpit hair grow out. Not even as like a statement. Like they just like don't think about it. Like for them it's not like part of their routine. Like, oh, every morning, you put on deodorant. And like as a woman, like me, like every night while I'm in the shower, I shave my pits because it just grows back so fast. Like TMI, sorry, but it's true. And they just like don't think about that. It's not part of their routine. So like me, like when I show up with my nails and my lashes and everything, like it's like rare. And so I'm always like asked about it, like, why do you do that? Oh, like, oh, I couldn't like spend my money on that. No, oh, that's too expensive. Oh, but like, oh, how do you wipe your ass? Like, uh, just like they want to like make it sound like they're jokes, but they're just really not. They're kind of like subtle digs. Um, yeah. So what I was saying, like men don't really go to the gym either. Like, let me explain. So here, gym culture is very underdeveloped. Like, compared to Poland, for example, or America, gyms here are just really small, and they're not open 24 hours. They close like really early, like 10 or 11. And yeah, they're just like really really small, and there's just not like a lot of like extra equipment, like accessories just laying around. It's just like very basic machines and very basic just like very basic stuff that you have to find at every gym, or else it's not a gym. And why? My theory is that it all connects to the fact that in France there is just very little to no social pressure to be anything. So let me explain. Like, in France, there is no pressure to look good, both for men and for women. And so if there's no pressure from other people to look good, then why would you try? As a man, why would you go to the gym and pay the gym and like encourage this like culture to expand if like women don't care whether you have muscles or not, and if other men don't care whether you have muscles or not, and if you don't care whether you have muscles or not because like you think that looking good is somehow like too superficial, like you're just above that. Like at the end of the day, like what matters is like what's in your brain, like a lot of men think that like, oh, like they're sexy because they study engineering, you know like here it's all about the intellectual part of attraction and everything, and like your value as a person. Whereas for me it's like, is what determines like your value as like, I don't know, a potential mate, a potential friend, or just like in general as a person, is like how you are all around. The way you look, how you take, the way you think, how you take care of your mental health, your spiritual health, your goals, your ambition, your hobbies, your just everything. And like looks are a great, for me, they're just like, they're a huge part of determining um just like the another person's character. I'm sorry I keep bringing up the gym, but it's a big part of my life currently. And so I noticed that like in Poland, when you go to the gym, you see a lot of bodybuilders, male and female. Like every single guy that's at the gym in Poland is huge, just huge, completely huge. And all the women like train upper body. They all got biceps. They all got delts. They're just big. You know, they take the gym seriously. And in France, it's like 90% beginners. And don't get me wrong, this is not about body shaming, you know, like everyone starts somewhere, obviously. The bodybuilders were small, you know, like back in the day. But my point is, if you only ever see beginners, what does that mean? It means that they don't come back. If you only ever see beginners, it means that they try the gym out for a little bit and then they're like, no, this is not worth it. This is not giving me the benefits that I hoped for, and so I will quit. Whereas if you see a lot of bodybuilders, that means that the culture encourages that. It encourages self-improvement. It encourages looking good. It encourages being healthy. And so people keep coming back. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I mean when I say that there's no social pressure at all. In France, it's totally okay to just be a bum. Like, it's true. Like, in America, it's like, oh, you're 14, you have a part-time job. You're like doing this and that after school to make some extra money. Oh, you're 16, you get your driver's license. Oh, like you're 18, you go to college and you also work on the side, and maybe you start your own business and you're doing this and you're doing that, and you have so many interests, you have so many hobbies. You're just like this multi like faceted multi I forgot the word, like you're just like a complex person, you know. And in France, it's not like that. In France, it's you are a character. You have one personality trait that just defines you. Like if you go to like a really good school and you're like a law student or whatever, like that's your thing. Like you're a nerd. Point blank period. If you can't like be a nerd who works out, you can't be a nerd who plays an instrument, you can't be a nerd who travels the world. No, you have to be one thing at a time. And most people choose just to be nothing. Most people like my age, they just like go to college, they study something that they're not very passionate about. They just feel like they have to go to college because like if they didn't, then they would like literally do nothing, because they just don't have any goals, no ambitions. Nothing inspires them. They don't really like anything in particular. They just kind of like move through life like because they were born, and that's like enough. Just like talk to like any random group of like, not like internationals, you know, not like people who have lived in like 18 countries and speak 7 languages and who have been here for like a little while. No, talk to like a random French like teenagers slash young adults, and they will tell you that they don't like anything. They don't really have opinions or on anything. They just kind of exist. They just kind of float, and that's it. And it's like, that's like okay here. Whereas like back home in Poland, I noticed that like just being just like a shell of a person is not okay. People will call you out, like, dude, like, do something with your life. Like, there's a lot of positive social pressure. Like, people like pull you up with them, like, oh hey, like, dude, you need to dress better, you need to like get a better haircut, you need to take up this hobby, you need to learn how to do this, you lack in this skill set, like you need to catch up. And whereas here it's okay, like being bad at everything and just like sucking at life is the standard. And so whenever like someone shows up that like is particularly good at something or particularly passionate about something, people just like they lose their minds. They can't handle it. They And so they will like hate on you for it behind your back. Um, so last point is people in general here are just submissive. So submissive in the way, like I said, they're just very absent. To go back to the first point, they're always just daydreaming, dissociating. They don't really know where they are, what's going on, and they're not very self-aware. Um, they're very conformist, very conformist. Someone will have an idea in a group and everyone else will be like, yes, I agree, yes, 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 yes. Or one person will be like, no, I disagree, but then when they notice that everyone else agrees, they will be like, oh, never mind, oh, I didn't really understand what you said, but no, yes, 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 totally. They just it's always like a huge circle jerk. They don't no one really no one really like has the courage to think for themselves. No one has the courage to make themselves noticeable. In that way, they're a bit like Chinese people. They're just like very group minded, very very cliquey, very like, oh, we only care about our friends and family, and everyone else like is not our problem. Um, like for example, um, in France, you can basically get away with anything in public because no one will speak up. Everyone will just kind of like look away and hope that the problem solves itself or that someone else will step in. Like, for example, in France, people can just like bring a speaker onto the train and like play it really loud, and not a single soul will be like, hey yo, can you shut the fuck up? Turn that shit down. You're in public. There are other people here. You're bothering us. Never happens in France. But like in Poland, if that happened, immediately like some guy would be like, hey, what the fuck is your problem? Turn that shit off or I'm gonna fuck you up. In France, people just they don't want to, like they're too scared. um like one time I witnessed this. Is like there's a lot of beggars in the metro, and I remember one time there was this beggar. He was claiming to be Ukrainian. He didn't look Ukrainian at all, but whatever, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. And so he comes up to these people and he starts like basically harassing them. They say no, like we're not giving you any money multiple times, but he just kind of like keeps talking to them, keeps trying to convince them, like, oh hey, like I'm so hungry, I'm this and this and this and that, and like it's a guy and a girl, and the guy is just like he's responding like this, like, oh no, sorry, like gently shaking his head, and uh, eventually, like he doesn't know what to do anymore, and he just chokes. Like he's just looking at this beggar, like uh, 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 because the guy won't leave him alone. Like I don't know. To me, it's like a man that has like a pair of balls should be able to say, "I said no. Can you leave me alone, please?" You know. But you never see that from French men here. Never, never. Like I remember one time I was on a date with a guy, first date, and we were sitting across from each other on a terrace having some drinks, and at the table behind him there was a guy that was very creepily staring at me, just wouldn't look away, wasn't discreet at all, just like you know the creepy guy stare like that. And so like my date is talking and I'm like, oh hey, sorry, I'm just a little distracted because like the guy behind you keeps staring at me and he's making me really uncomfortable. And I expect him to like turn around and ask the guy what the fuck he's looking at, right? But no, he goes, oh, just ignore him. I'm like, okay. And like 10, 15 minutes later, I see the guy staring at me very intensely again. And I say again to my date, hey, I'm just like really uncomfortable. Like this guy just won't, he won't stop. And the guy again is like, just don't worry about it. Look away. I don't know. Like I was immediately turned off. Like I just completely lost all attraction because like why don't you have the balls to confront someone for something so small? You know, like what's gonna happen if like I don't know, one day like I'm walking with you and someone tries to mug us, you know? Like are you just going to stand there like take it all? Please, just don't hurt me. Like what? I don't know. I'm just not I grew up in like a really traditional culture, I guess, and I just like never knew that like men could act like this. I never That's not what like my idea of a man is. Maybe it's outdated, maybe it's old fashioned, but it's the way I think, and clearly it's just not the way that it is here. In that way, French people are a bit or a lot like British people, where it's like you will never see someone cussing someone out in public. You will never see someone getting angry. You will never see someone making a scene because people are just like, oh, let's be quiet. Let's ignore it. Let's ignore the problem. Let's run away. Let's like pretend like nothing is happening. Um, and then they will actually like talk the shit like behind people's backs. You know. So like if you're ever hanging out with a group of French people and you're just being you, just like showing your personality, and let's say you say something a bit controversial, something that not everyone agrees with, something that not everyone likes, everyone will play off. They will like they will laugh. They will like do their best performance of everything is fine, and then you will leave and they will just never talk to you again, and then you will wonder what the fuck happened. No one has the balls here to be like, hey, yo, that's fucked up. What you just said, I don't like that. What you just said is wrong. Um, this is not a good look. This is not a good attitude. Can you stop, please? Nobody. Nobody. You only find out that you did something wrong like after the fact and like through like another source. Oh, so and so said that so and so that so and so that so and so said that you said X, Y, and Z, and that's why they don't talk to you anymore. Like, wow, cool. um, I don't know. So maybe I'm just maybe we're just different in Eastern Europe. We just like handle things differently. But I'm just not a fan of the way that people handle things here. Like, I think that, you know, if someone's in your way, you should let them know. Someone's bothering you, you should let them know. Um, you should just speak up for what you want, what you don't want, what you need, what you don't need. Instead of just keeping all inside, because you just look like a fucking pussy. Like there's no other way around it. Uh, and yeah, these are some of the things that I hate about France. I'm sure that I'll make a part 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 20. But these are the points that I could think of right now. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you had fun listening to me rant about these things. If you live in France, tell me if you agree. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in another video that's gonna be about something else. Bye.